every moment of the lived experience of the program at the bus is a learning opportunity. Students are forming unbelievable community, they're making lifelong friendships, and they're really discerning more about their vocation as they're being spiritually formed, as they're training in their disciplines, and as they're serving the community.
Like I'm asking questions now about public health today that I wasn't asking yesterday because I was prompted by people who are seeing these issues from different angles.
Baltimore Urban Studies, or the BUS, is a study-away program that invites students from all majors to come to the heart of Baltimore. Here, you'll be able to integrate your discipline with public health and reconciliation coursework, take an urban internship, while experiencing deep spiritual formation. We would like to invite you on a journey that began actually 21 years ago when Mike and I met on a college campus much like yours. It was in that season of our lives that we had the chance to serve together, equipping young people to serve in the city. But who would have thought that 2 decades later, we'd be back together again, now shoulder to shoulder, equipping and pouring into the next generation, a generation that God is calling. And perhaps, just maybe, Baltimore City could be that place where you discern the calling on your life.
We hope this video will give you an introduction and help you discern if the Baltimore Urban Studies is a good choice for you.
For people who are in ministry or are looking to go into missions full time, this is what I would anticipate real missions being like. You're learning from the community, you're not seeking to give anything to the community, you're receiving most of the time you're here. As a ministry major, it feels like you have to be perfect all of the time and you have to do very specific things. But the people that I work with, the people that I'm learning from, are not leading these picture perfect lives and are so honest about how they struggle with each other. And I feel like if you're a ministry major who maybe feels burnt out, this is such a refreshing, real way to see how God is moving, and not just in theory, but in actual practice.
Being in Baltimore, there are a lot of people from different backgrounds here that you normally wouldn't get to experience. Going from the staff to the community when you're out and getting to hear more about different people's stories and just how very diverse they are. And so getting to just experience that and talking to a lot of people may help you figure out where you wanna go, even at the different internship sites, and how they tackle Baltimore, I guess, in a different way.
Most of the students from our schools are gonna end up pursuing their professions in a US-based context. And so as we're preparing these future professionals, we're giving them an opportunity to have a sort of study abroad program in the context of the US. And what better city than Baltimore?
Baltimore is such a phenomenally rich place to study anything, to learn, to grow. It's diverse, it has so much history, so much culture, it's perfect. So it's like a wonderful petri dish. The other thing I love is that it invites people to bring their faith into the academic process. So you do not have to check Jesus at the door.
When I first came to Baltimore to be part of the bus, I was not expecting to become part of a family and to be welcomed like a family member.
The cool thing about a study away program rather than study abroad is that it is closer to home. The language and the culture and the realities are more relatable to what you've experienced in your life, and therefore you can carry it over into your work in a better way.
I think the bus really brings a high level of expertise in many areas. And while they're new to our community, I think they've already have had a significant impact, even with helping out mission. Just being able to call on them as a resource in our community has been invaluable. Pastor Dante and his depth of knowledge in biblical studies. And of course, Dr. Micah Hughes, who is really a forerunner when it comes to public health. I just think that we're going in the direction because our fingers are on the pulse of what's going on in the city and what the needs are spiritually. God is going to do a new thing through us that will reverberate throughout the city, effectuate change, and bring about healing to this land.
Yeah, so I think what makes the bus different is that it combines both an academic component and an experiential learning component. I think both are really necessary and actually engage different parts of us, different parts of our brain and our heart and our soul.
We are living in a really polarizing time, and undergraduate students today can be overwhelmed with how to navigate and translate the things they learn in class out into the work environment and to their own life. The Baltimore Urban Studies allows students to be grounded in biblical justice and a spiritual formation that's embodied while they take rigorous academic coursework and they do internships in the field of their vocation. And when they do that in community, living together in a multicultural urban space, then the light bulbs start to connect. It separates out all these little siloed, decompartmentalized part of their life and brings it together.
Why not consider now taking the next steps towards your off-campus experience? You know, that will begin with you reaching out to your study abroad office and your faculty advisor. They would have all the information to help you understand what those next steps look like.
And if you want to find out what's happening on the bus right now, please check out the Baltimore Urban Studies Instagram. When it's time to apply, all those details can be found at baltimoreurbanstudies.org. Please reach out to us and plan a time when you can come visit our campus.
You know, we still believe and we're convinced that there's a seat for you on the bus.